Hey, it's Eric at Tri-State Public Safety, and thanks for joining us today, and thanks for stopping by our channel. It's been a while since we have actually done a video on a Star ULB24 interior light bar, and we thought it was more than appropriate to do an updated video because they just kind of revised it a little bit. So this undoubtedly is one of our best-selling and most popular interior light bars that we offer. Just plain and simple, straight up. And one of the biggest reasons why is because it fits, and it will fit most vehicles that other manufacturers will just not fit into. So, for lack of a better way of saying it. So the ULB24 has a bunch of different options in it. So each individual LED light head throughout the entire bar. There's 8, 4 on the driver's side, 4 on the passenger side. Those can be ordered in a different color combination. There's no extra charge for that. With the exception of green, keep an eye on that. Manufacturers sometimes will charge extra for green. The only caveat to that is if you get takedowns. So if you get takedown lights, they will be in the very center positions on either side of your rearview mirror, and those will wig-wag back and forth in pursuit mode, and then they will also, you'll have a separate wire where you can just manually turn on the takedowns when and if you need them. So when you order your ULB24 visor bar, this is how it will come. More often than not, most folks want a cigarette lighter plug model, so it'll come with a cigarette lighter plug, and if you don't need it and you're going to hardwire this in, no big deal. Just cut off the plug. Manufacturers don't warranty a cigarette lighter plug anyway, so just go ahead and cut it off and hardwire it to whatever switch panel or switch box you're running. So this is, if you're not familiar, this is the Star ULB24. They use Generation 4 LEDs. There's 4 pods of 3 LEDs, and what they do is something a little bit different than most manufacturers. Instead of taking all their LED modules and just pointing them all straight forward, they take one section and they kind of point it, off axis a little bit, and it's kind of pointed over towards the intersection, which is a lot of times the hardest place to get light, actually, when you're responding. And so that's a really cool idea, and a lot of folks will, if they're getting this in all blue or all red or all amber, what they'll do is they'll actually make this one white. So when it flashes and you're looking straight on at the bar, you'll get just a hint of white towards the front, but 95% of its light's going to be directed off at an angle. And I'll show you here in just a minute when we turn it on. So a couple of the improvements over the previous version, which by the way, this was just a recent, very, very recent change, is they have a little hole cut out here where you can kind of see the PC board and wiring and stuff inside. Not a big deal. Don't even really know what it's for. Because you can't gain access to anything right there. So I don't know, maybe that's something for the future, don't really know. But what they did do is they eliminated a bunch of screws up here. So in order to get this panel off previously, you had, I don't know, 8 or 10 screws up here on the top panel, plus I think a couple in the back. So now you actually just have 5. So you have 2 in the back, you have 2 over here on the side, and then you just have 1 over here on this end. So real easy, 5 screws, and this top panel actually pops off. Of course, we're not suggesting you need to take your bar apart, but I'm just pointing out some of the changes that they made. Also, this part of the shield, it never had this angled cut on it before. It was just straight across. And so maybe they're making that to help reduce any flashback from the side or whatever. Don't really know. One cool part about this flashback shield, though, is that with these 2 screws right here, you can actually just loosen them up, and this flashback shield will pull forward and extend out closer to your windshield so that you can get it, as close to the windshield as you can to help reduce any flashback. So another improvement that they made, and thank God for this because this was a long time coming, they do give you weather stripping kind of deals to put on the front of this where it's going to butt up against your windshield to just, again, make a tighter seal and reduce any type of flashback. But if they didn't give you this, and this was, this is, aluminum, if it was butted up against your windshield and you hit a bump or just road vibration, it would rattle and drive you crazy, or at least it would me. Well, they gave you rubber stripping, weather stripping before that was kind of rubbery, but This one is much, much better, believe it or not. In the world of weather stripping, this is made a lot better, and it's actually got a, I don't know if I can get a close up here, but it's actually got like a grooved inside kind of a deal. We're gonna focus there. There we go. So it's got like a grooved inside kind of a deal where you can tell it's gonna kind of grab on, where before it just kind of slipped over, and that was it. It also kind of has like this, I don't know, sparkly kind of finish, or I don't know, it's kind of weird. I mean, it's not like sparkly like glitter, but the other one was more of a matte kind of a deal. But I'm sure this one will work out much, much better than the previous one. So a couple of improvements there. In the world of brackets, this is a question we get all the time. And I will tell you that the key phrase here is universal. And that word gets tossed around a lot by different dealers or different manufacturers. Universal does not mean universal. That is a very misleading term. So be very, very careful. And I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but just be very, very careful with the term universal. We hear horror stories all the time where folks have bought visor bars based off of that, universal bracket deal where they're told it's going to fit. They wait a few weeks for it to be built. They get it, and guess what? It doesn't fit. So the kicker with that is it's not the brackets. It's the size of the frame. And Star figured that out a long time ago. And if the size of the actual visor bar won't fit in your car, who cares about the brackets? Think about that for a second. So they figured that out a long time ago, and that's why their visor bars will work in vehicles that you would not believe. Everything from, like a little Toyota Corolla, Chevy Aveo, all the way up to a Cadillac Escalade, even very specialty vehicles like Denali's, high-end, stuff over 70, 80 grand that has lane departure warning systems mounted on the windshield that no other visor bar will fit because it hits that lane departure warning box that's actually mounted on the windshield. So these are all things that a lot of people don't think about. And until it's too late. You order it, you get it, it doesn't fit. So, by the way, there is also, so that's all I'm going to say about that. There is also a dual color version of this bar. It's the ULB28. So if you need something dual color, you need something with a flood mode kind of a deal, check out the ULB28. It's going to be the same exact platform, same split bar design. By the way, you're looking at the passenger side. Driver's side's in here. But it would actually have their Lineum X LEDs, so a different LED format, but it would be dual color. So the entire bar would flash dual color, and then it would be able to go over to a flood mode. So let me go ahead and turn this on. We'll show you what she looks like if you are not familiar. Also, I want to point out one other thing real quick, and that is another button that is actually on, two buttons, if I can get the bubble wrap out of the way here. The flash pattern changer button is on the passenger side. It's right here. Momentary switch. You have 35 different flash patterns built into the bar. You can change them on the fly. You can change them whenever you want. Obviously, the bar has to be on. And then here is another button. This one's going to be right above the driver. So normally in the center position on 0 or whatever, it's off. Position 1, the bar is going to turn to steady burn, which is kind of a cool feature. But a lot of people just don't use it. So position 2, the bar is gonna go into a warning mode. And then, like I said before, you've got the momentary switch over here where you can change your flash patterns. And there are 35 to choose from. So you've got a plethora of flash patterns. And then again, like I said earlier, each one of these LED heads can be ordered in a different color. So if you wanted this in amber white, you can do that. If you wanted this in all amber, but you just want this section right here to be in white, that's no issue. No extra charge for that. However, if you wanted this bar in all amber with takedown lights, your takedowns are going to be right here closest to your rearview mirror. And on this one, it's going to be right here. And there is an upcharge for that because the board inside has to be changed to accommodate the wig-wagging feature between the takedowns and pursuit mode. They're going to wig-wag back and forth. And then also you'll have another wire so that these guys can just come on steady burn and act as, you know, just normal floodlights or takedown lights. Another thing too, this is a question we get all the time, so I may as well bring it up. Can I get a visor bar with takedowns in a cigarette lighter plug model? That answer is no. There's not enough wires to operate it off of a cigarette lighter plug. Cigarette lighter plug is a dummy. All it's doing is just supplying 12-volt power to this, and everything else is done via, you know, this switch. So this switch does not have takedowns in it, obviously, because it's not built that way. So in order to have takedowns, you have to get a hardwire version, and then that allows you access to wire it and benefit from all the features built into the bar. But I believe the hardwire version only has 5 or 6 wires anyway, so it's no big deal. 100% American made. They're made in New York. Star's been around since 1889. So back to my previous comments about knowing what they're doing. They've been around certainly long enough to know what they're doing. So if you have a car that is not police based and you've had trouble maybe finding a visor bar that would fit or that would work, I challenge you to call us and ask for me. My name's Eric, and I will certainly take care of you. And I know that these star bars will fit because we've done it. We're a full install shop. We have experience doing this, and we've got well over 500 videos on YouTube. If you're watching this, here's another one that will demonstrate our products and our installations to prove just that. So we've got a lot of installs out there with this visor bar in it that are vehicles that are not police based. So anyway, just throwing that out there. These bars, I believe we are probably the cheapest on these bars. They're very difficult to keep in stock. So because they're fully customizable, I will also say this. Star's great at what they do, but these bars are not kept in stock waiting on you to call us and place the order or whatever. So these are basically built to order, and they do take about 4 weeks. So just keep that in mind, you know, when you go to place your order. All right. So if you have any questions, didn't mean to make the video so long, but I wanted to hit on a lot of material as fast as I could. If you have any questions, give us a call, 513-422-5775, or just go on to our website, shoot us an email, sales@tristatepse.com. And thanks for watching. This was the Star ULB24.